Hey, I hope my connection stays on. I have bought an adapter for my Ethernet cable, and I've plugged it in, but I don't know. It came with this kind of disc thing that I don't believe this Mac has, but who knows? We shall see later today. If you are managing to jump on live, please do say hello so I know you're there. And if you're watching on replay, hashtag replay. So I'm just going to check that I am on. Me and technology, it's a work in progress. It is, it's a work in progress because it's something, morning Julie, it's not something that comes natural to me. So I don't know if we have any really good technical people, but last night my MacBook was doing very strange things. Both my phones crashed and I couldn't get music for my classes and it was all a bit chaotic and I don't really know what happened. Morning, Shezzy. I don't really know what happened. It was like both my phones were just going into complete meltdown. It would have been funny had I not have been waiting to teach my floor work class, but you've got to see the funny side, and at the end of the day it's probably something I've done because I have no idea what I'm doing, so I can't blame technology because technology is awesome when we know what we're doing. So how is everyone feeling today? Middle of the week. It is the middle of the week, isn't it? Yes, of course it is, because I have my Warrior Wednesday tonight and the lovely SJ is coming on to share her expertise on how to become a celebrity in your field. Very exciting. Loving all these wonderful women jumping onto Miss Warrior to share their stories. Okay, so today's live is all about, do you live your life with limitations or are you limitless in your thinking? And I wanted to talk about, this was prompted, literally, it's quite a funny story really. This was prompted by, so my husband was getting ready for work this morning and he's got some new work boots that he's very proud of. He's very proud of. They're not the usual ones that he wears. So stay with me on this, it does all tie in. So they're not the usual ones he wears, and he's had them on now for a couple of days, and every time he puts them on, he's like, they're great, these boots, aren't they? Absolutely great. They're completely different to my other ones, to the normal ones that I use. These are great. They're loads comfier, and because they're leather, they're loads more waterproof, so they're perfect for this weather. And he kind of has been doing a little bit of a catwalk up and down the kitchen in them. You know when you do that, Peter Kay does it really well, but you know when you put some shoes on and you do that really strange walk? Peter Kay does it absolutely perfectly. I think it's Peter Kay anyway. Peter Kay or Lee Evans, one of them two. And he was doing that. And when he'd done it, he was like, I'm so glad that I tried them on. So basically the story behind it is just before Christmas, a couple of months before Christmas, he went to get some new work trousers and he went to a new supplier place and the guy was selling off these DeWalt work boot things. As I say, completely different to the normal style he wears. And I think they were only 20 quid. They were really, really cheap. So we got them and he came back and he said, I'm probably not going to wear them, but I bought them because they were 20 quid. Hands up if you are also somebody who does that. If it's a fiver, I'm all over it. Anyway, so he's saying, so he brought them home and he just put them under the stairs in the box and said, I'll probably not wear them because they're not my usual style and I'm used to a certain style. So under the stairs they went. However, I think it might have been yesterday, actually, the first time he wore them outside. So yesterday, obviously, the snow, I followed him to the garage. And when he got out and he was walking around to the car, he was like, these boots are great. They're just absolutely great. They're so amazing. They're So comfortable, they're waterproof, they're the best things ever. So it's leading back to today, this morning, he's doing his catwalk up and down the kitchen, talking about how amazing these boots are. And I said to him, well, isn't this interesting? Because they've been under the stairs because you, as soon as you bought them, so you bought them because they were a bargain, but you put them under the stairs because in your mind, you'd already limited your thinking by thinking that they weren't going to be any good. You hadn't tried them on, you hadn't worn them, but you straight away, because they weren't the ones that you were used to, you straight away put them under the stairs and completely dismissed them as if they were nothing. And now they're the best things ever. So for a couple of months, you've been missing out on wearing comfy shoes for work and, you know, missing out on that opportunity. Can't beat a bargain. You're right, Julie, can't. So that's what prompted this live, because he limited his thinking and therefore didn't put them on. But actually, having done it, they're the best things ever. And I'm sure I'm going to hear about them every morning and every night when he comes in from work for probably the next 2 months. But we had a bit of a conversation about it. And then from that, I started thinking about what I always say to my grandson. So my grandson, Freddie, he is 6, nearly 7. He's 7 on Sunday, bless him. And obviously, like kids, they're very much like, oh, I don't like that. You know, usually if it's vegetables, I don't like that. I don't like that, Nanny. And I'll say, well, try it. You don't know. Have you tried it before? And he'll say, no. And I'll say, well, try it then. Because if you try it and then you don't like it, I'll accept that you don't like it because you've tried. But I want you to try it because you don't know that you don't like something unless you try it. And we took him to Sundown Adventureland, I think it was, or something like that, when we were all allowed to go out, whenever that was, a couple of years ago. And a similar thing happened. There was kind of like it was like not a haunted house. It wasn't a haunted house. You'd have a right to be scared of that. It was one of the mirror places, you know, where there's mirrors everywhere. And we walked past it. It was inside this play area, this indoor play area. And we walked past it, and there was kind of all this darkness and this smoke and, you know, this mysterious music. And he was like showing interest in it and trying to look in. And I said, do you want to go inside? No, I'm scared. I said, but how do you know you're scared? No, I'm scared. I said, come in with Nanny. Come in with Nanny and just try it. There's nothing to be scared of. It's just some music. It's just some smoke. And eventually we went in. Now, the funny thing about that story is I did not like it one bit. Have you ever been in one of them places where there's mirrors everywhere and then it's like a maze and then you have to try and work your way out? Hardest thing ever when something is covered in mirrors. I was just like, what is going on? So I had to pretend I weren't scared, but I was getting a little bit anxious because I thought, I hope I can get him out. I hope I can get him out of here. But I wanted to just share those stories with you and open it up to your thinking through today. Do you limit yourself by how you think? Do you place limits on yourself? Just have a minute to think about that. You know, do you think to yourself, I can't do that. I can't do that. Or say things like, that's not for me. That isn't for me. I don't think I'll like that. I don't think I'll like it. How do you know? How do you know? I'll never be able to do that. I mean, you know, I can try, but I'll never be able to do it. Now, really, that's limiting thinking, isn't it? That's limiting your thoughts. And when you limit your thoughts, you limit your world, really. Your entire world. Because the possibilities and the things that are available to us now more than ever are limitless. You know, look at what social media can do. Look at what the internet can do. Look at all the technology and the things that we can access in like a split second. We can access amazing things. But for a lot of people, they're very stuck in their own limitations on themselves and their lives. So I want you to just consider at the moment which place you sit. Do you sit in the limitations place, or do you sit in the limitless place? Now, for me, I had lots and lots of reasons to limit my thinking had I have taken that approach to my life. You know, I had a child at 14. I was written off at 14 as somebody that destroyed a life, ruined a career, ruined the potential of ever making anything of herself, and that was it. And my approach to life has always been, if you think I can't, then watch me. That is literally one of my mottos, because that's always been something that I have taken on board. I remember about 4 years ago, might even be longer. You know, as you get older, time frames just stop mattering. So I'm going to say 4 or 5 years ago, but it could be 6. Don't shoot me. But this is a true story. The little details don't matter. The years, they all blend into one. But I was told that I would never poll again, and I was told that I was going to have my spine fused, and that if I continued doing pole, I was going to end up doing some serious damage. And I remember coming out of the consultation, and just tears just streaming down my face, and I thought, oh my God, like, I've managed to build the business up. I've managed to, you know, get it to a place where it's doing relatively well. And this is it. This is it. This is going to be it. And I remember coming home, and for 2 days, I laid in the living room with my curtains closed. I just didn't want to speak to anyone, was so upset. And whilst I was laid there on day 2, I was just like, you've never accepted anything that one person has said to you, ever. You have never taken on board, Bridie, advice from wherever it's been that has meant that you are going to be restricted in any area of your life. You have never done that. So why are you laid there now feeling sorry for yourself? Get your ass off the sofa, open the curtains, ring the doctors, and request a second opinion. And that is what I did. And I went to Sheffield, and the consultants were lovely. I saw 2 consultants there. They were absolutely lovely. And they basically said, right, this is what you need to do. And they structured basically a plan to get my body back into shape whilst allowing my discs to come back in a way that was going to mean that I was going to build my core and be able to get back on the pole. And that process took 2 years. 2 years, I was paying more for physio, chiropractors, private consultants, you name it. I was paying more a month than I was paying on my mortgage and my outgoings. I was paying a lot of money because I was determined, because my mindset and the way I think is I sit in the limitless zone. I sit there. I like it there because there are no restrictions there. There are no restrictions. You can literally do and achieve whatever you want. So that's where I want to be. And I like to challenge myself on that, because there are things that I'm scared of, and there are things that, you know, aren't openly appealing to me, like flying in a plane. Petrified of flying in a plane I was. Absolutely petrified. So for my 40th birthday, I flew a plane that was about this big. that was like this in the wind over Humber Bridge. Absolutely terrifying it was, but I did it. And in turn, that completely changed my view of being a passenger on a massive plane. Completely changed it. I went from having to be near enough blindfolded or guided around the airport with my eyes closed, under the influence of about 12 shots of brandy, to not having an issue with it at all. So if you think that you don't like something, or you think that something isn't for you, or you are apprehensive of something, or fearful of something, or nervous of something, just ask yourself this: how do I know that this isn't going to be the one thing that's actually going to catapult me to success, going to catapult my confidence, going to catapult my mindset? How do I know? What evidence have I got apart from negative Nancy chatter? None. Absolutely none. So if you have big dreams and things that you want to do on one side, because there are people, I know Julie's watching, Julie's quite good at coming up with terms to integrate the two things together when I've done lives before. But some people have dreams and ambition and yes, but they're fighting with, oh, I don't know, I'm not sure it's the right time, should I do that, what will people think, blah, 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 blah. So you can be in both lanes. But all you'll find then is that you're being pulled and that you spend more time, you know, like kind of going from each lane to each lane, that you're not going forward because you're too busy going this way. And you want to go forward. Life's all about going forward. About leaving the stuff that's happened behind. And that's taken me 20 odd years to do, because I was doing this for a lot of time, backwards and forwards, side to side, and then push forward, and then side to side again, and then push forward. And now I teach women how to just go boom, forwards, yes, let's go, let's do it. The women that I work with are ready to just go all in, jump in and see where it takes me, because what is the worst that can happen? You will never learn about your capabilities. You'll never learn how fantastic you are while ever you're restricted by the limits that you are placing on yourself. On yourself. Another example of limits, and I love. I don't know if it's that good for my marriage, but I love a good debate. My husband hates it. He's like, "You're just better at words than me." Hi Emma, hi SJ, morning babe. Feel the fear and doubt, but do it anyway. Yes. It's normally my hubby saying, "Don't do that." Yes, just do it. Just fucking do it. But sometimes it takes for the fuck it button to go off. Yeah, totally get that. But, you know, it's, I was on about my husband again this morning. So this morning he needed to forward an email, right? And when I say I'm no good at technology, in comparison to my husband, I am the top Apple spec tech person in comparison. So I was showing him. I said, "Get your phone out, and I'm going to explain to you how to do it, and then you know how to do it." Because I'm not saying this is a man thing. I'm going to use. I'm not going to say that because I don't want to get any hate from any men out there. But he likes things to be done for him, and what I do is help him do them himself, so he doesn't have to ask me again. And I said, you know, you really need to just spend a little bit more time just learning the basics. I said, I know I'm no tech expert, but because of your job, you need to understand the basics. And the first thing he said to me was, I don't have time. And I was ready for that. I was like, well, I got up at 6 o'clock this morning. What time did you get up? And he was like, well, 7:15. Okay, so had you got up at 6 o'clock, you would have been able to spend some time learning how to do that. Fortunately, he found it funny. He was like, I just can't do it. And it's not because he can't, it's because he won't. He won't. Because usually he has things done for him. So, you know, if you keep doing for other people, they are never going to learn, are they? So, yeah. So, oh, Dawn. Hi, Dawn. I hope you're feeling better. But yeah, you know, like if you've got to kind of enable them to do it themselves, which sometimes is just worth just leaving it. But yeah, it was quite funny. So, you know, staying inside your comfort zone is not going to help you grow. And if you are someone who thinks about doing something and thinks about doing something and thinks about doing something and talks himself out of it and talks himself back into it and then thinks about it some more, trust me, all you're doing is driving side to side through life. Side to side. Yes, things that you don't know about are scary because they're unknown. Nobody can have a definite outcome. I watched Paul Mort yesterday morning, really good coach, very to the point, takes no crap from nobody. And he was saying about self-belief, that if you wait until you believe you can do something, you're going to be waiting forever. And that is so, so true. Because the only way to build your belief is by doing it. That's the only way. You always wake up one morning and be like, oh my God, I'm full of self-belief today. I'm going to achieve everything. You know, people wait till they have enough self-belief. One, because it's a reason to not do something. Well, I just don't believe in myself. That's why I'm not doing it. I don't believe in myself. That's just a reason for you not doing something. And if you're waiting to have full belief in yourself, you're doubting what you're doing already because you're wanting that definite outcome that it's going to be successful. You're wanting to know, right, if I do this, is this going to be the outcome? And I don't know. It might not be the outcome, but you will learn something by doing it. You'll always learn something. So, you know, we can blame time, we can blame money, we can blame our situations, we can blame all that stuff, or we can look for solutions, or we can think, do you know what, I'm just going to go for it. I'm just going to go for it. You know, putting yourself out as a coach, as doing what I do, putting your content out there, that can be really daunting because you're putting yourself out, you're opening yourself up. Lee Freeman, who is one of my coaches, he talks about the times that he's had a lot of trolling and a lot of, harsh comments. It's not very nice. But when you're putting yourself out there, you have to expect that some people are not going to agree with what you're going to say. Some people are going to feel the need to just comment nasty things because some people just do that. And that's what a lot of people enjoy doing. But which lane are they in? They're in the limited lane. Because they're limited to their way of thinking. They think their way of thinking is the only way. And even though you might be really, really set on your way of thinking, there is always room for improvement and compromise and adjusting. Always room. If you're open to it, there is. If you're not and you're closed down and you're stuck in your limits, then you're not going to be open to anything. One of the biggest things, one of the most valuable things I learned throughout all my counselling training was to be open to the possibility of something not being your way of thinking. Because you have to learn how to see things from other people's perspective. to step into other people's shoes. And that doesn't mean that you're not being true to yourself, but you have to be able to do that. Limitless, again. Because by stepping into other people's shoes and embracing that, you're experiencing things through somebody else's eyes. You're able to learn things about people, about humanity, about emotion, about feelings, about all those things, because feelings and emotions are so complex. And how one person might respond might be completely different to how another person responds, but that doesn't mean either is right or wrong. So I want you to think today about something you really, really want to do, and you've been limiting yourself because of your way of thinking. And just do it. Just do it. Make that phone call. Whatever it is. Sign up to that course. If you want to get fit, do it today. Start the process now. And for anybody, by the way, who is wanting to get fit online, Benefit has some pay per session classes for only £3, from £3. So if you want to get fit, I will drop the link in, and you are more than welcome to join us and see what we're doing there. But yeah, have a think about that today and focus on being limitless, because life is so much more fun in the limitless lane. The limitless lane. I love that. I'm gonna write that down. Okay, thank you for joining me, and I hope you have a lovely day. I will see you all tomorrow. Mwah!